Hi everyone, my name is Tanju Yorulmazer. I'm a professor at the economics department of Koç University. I completed my undergraduate studies in Bilkent University as an industrial engineer. Then I did my master's in economics at Middle East Technical University. And after this, I went to the US to do my PhD in economics at New York University, NYU. After my graduate studies, I worked for major central banks, such as the Bank of England in the financial stability area and the Federal Reserve Bank of New York in their research department. And before joining Koç, I was the professor of financial institutions, markets and regulation at the University of Amsterdam. And I work on topics such as financial institutions, banking and regulation, with a particular focus on financial institutions. Koç University is a research-oriented university, and this is extremely important because when you are taught, basically you are taught by people who are at the frontier of science and who do cutting-edge research. And while there's a lot of value in reading books, watching videos, and doing these things on your own, the real value added in most of the cases comes from your interaction with your professor or with your colleagues. And there comes the value of being a research institution, because at Koç, the people you will interact with are the ones who are at the frontier of science. They will know a lot about what is going on today, what is important today, but furthermore, they will be the people who contribute to science at cutting edge level. And furthermore, at Koç University, we benefit a lot from interdisciplinary studies. And just to give an example, I'm teaching a banking and regulation course in the economics department, but many of my students pursue double majors. And they do, for example, engineering, law, along with economics. And that's very valuable because they bring in their insights to the class. For example, I get to discuss artificial intelligence and its finance applications with my engineering students. And also I get to discuss the law implications of regulation with my students from the law department. As you all know, economics has a very important part in everyone's lives. And the fundamental issues of how much the economy will grow this year, what will be the inflation rate, will we be able to create enough jobs for young people, will banks provide credit to the productive sectors of the economy, and at what rate? As you can see, these are fundamental questions that has an effect, a first order effect on everyone's life. And the important thing about studying economics at Koç University is that, as I mentioned, it's a research institution, which is very valuable, but the program in Koç will provide you with a thorough understanding of the fundamental concepts, will give you the analytical tools to conduct empirical and theoretical analysis, but also will give you the opportunity to use everything you learned to apply it to real life questions. Just to give an example from myself, I teach the banking and regulation course at the undergraduate and graduate level at Koç University. And this is a course where we learn about the role of financial intermediaries and banks, major risks they are exposed to, and other activities such as shadow banking, with a particular focus on financial crisis and regulation. And just to tell you how you can apply all of this knowledge to real life, now as a regulatory requirement, banks need to go through stress tests, which means they go under some economic scenarios and see whether they will be able to survive those adverse economic scenarios. And one thing I ask my students, for example, is to go and pick a bank. This can be a Turkish bank or a foreign bank, and run a stress test for this bank going through the items in the bank's balance sheet. And this is pretty much what banks and regulators do these days. So this is an extremely applied application of everything we learn in class. The program, like many major economics programs, starts with mathematical analytical courses and an introduction to microeconomics and macroeconomics. And in the second year, you take follow-up courses, you develop your understanding of microeconomics and macroeconomics. But as you progress, you will have a wide range of elective courses to choose from, such as industrial organization, labor, financial, international finance, money and banking, banking and regulation, just to cite a few. So when you take all these courses, you will have a great understanding of economic concepts. You will have the tools, the necessary analytical framework to conduct empirical and theoretical analysis. And one thing that's extremely valuable is in your last year, you will take the economics capstone course. And this will be a course where you apply everything you learned to real life problems using real life cases. So when you combine all of these, I think Koç is in a very nice and unique position to study economics. A significant proportion of our students, for example, 40%, actually pursue postgraduate studies after their undergraduate studies. And Koç University has a very established and active master's and PhD program. But furthermore, many of our students actually go and pursue PhDs in the top universities in the world. And just to give an example, some of our alumni actually have done PhDs in these top programs. And after that, they got faculty positions in top universities, such as the University of Chicago and MIT, just to give a few examples. So Koç University actually has a very active career office that supports students throughout their studies. And they provide them help and support to find internships, to find jobs, but also for Erasmus programs to study abroad. And our graduates from our economics program get a wide range of opportunities, such as the financial sector, the banking sector. Many get jobs and positions in consultancies, and some of them work in startups, some of them actually have their own startups. For me, Koç University is an internationally well-known research institution and the best university in my home country, which is the main attraction for me. And I hope you join Koç University and we get to meet in person very soon.